remembering that every character, every symbol, every sacred number, in every story is an aspect of our self. We have to dive deep into our mandala, into the crucible where all are contained, to glean or to ascertain the meaning of the stories for us. There's a story about a young woman of the Jewish faith who was about to be married, but her dear mother wanted her to wear the wedding dress that she had worn at her wedding. But the young woman had said to her mother that she wanted to choose her own wedding dress. In fact, she'd already chosen the gown that she wanted to wear. But there was a very intense argument that ensued, the mother demanding that her daughter wear her dress, and the daughter demanding that she be allowed to purchase her own wedding dress. But at the end, the mother was so angry, she shouted at her daughter, "You can go to the devil!" And she marched out of the house. But her daughter, being adamant about wanting to wear her own dress, immediately left the house and went down to that place where she had found the gown that she wanted to wear. And when she went into the shop, she found that there, purchasing many gowns, was a very, very beautiful woman. She had seen the carriage in which this woman had arrived as she entered the shop, quite a magnificent thing. But she found, when she entered the shop, that amongst those gowns that the beautiful woman had chosen to purchase, there was the one that she had chosen to buy for herself. So, getting up the courage within herself, she approached the obviously very wealthy woman and said, "Well, excuse me, I see that you have purchased a lot of gowns, but you've also chosen the one that I wanted for my own wedding." And the woman looked at her and said, "Oh, indeed, then let me make a gift of this gown to you." "Oh, no, said the young woman. I want to pay for the gown myself." But the beautiful woman said, "No, I insist that I wish to buy this gown as a gift for you for your wedding. But for one thing, would you please come back to my house so that I can see you dressed in this gown?" Well, the young woman wavered somewhat, and realizing that the woman was very, very rich, and thinking that yes, she would love to try on this gown, she accepted the woman's offer to buy this beautiful gown for her. And so indeed it transpired. The woman bought all the other dresses that she had chosen, and this one that the young woman had chosen, and they got in her very beautifully capricioned carriage, and they went back to a house that was something that the young woman had never seen, even in her dreams, a palace of a house. And when they entered, the beautiful woman invited the young woman to go into a room to put on the gown so that she could be seen dressed in her wedding dress. Well, when the young woman went into the room, she found that the room was filled with mirrors. And so when she put on the gown, she saw how beautiful she was. She'd never seen herself looking so ravishingly beautiful before. She wished she could stay in that room, to be able to stay in that place where she could see herself in every aspect wearing this beautiful wedding dress. So resplendent in the dress, she was about to go out, to show herself to the beautiful woman, but she found that the door was locked and she could not get out of the room. So of course she couldn't go home to her house. It was the eve of the Sabbath day, and the parents wondered where she was. She hadn't come home, and so they went to their rabbi, who was called Rabbi Naphtali, and they explained that their daughter had not come back from being out shopping, and the rabbi said, just go ahead with your Sabbath celebrations, pretending that she's with you. So this is what they did. And that evening, Rabbi Naphtali went into a trance, into a dream, as was his bent, and he ascertained that the beautiful woman who had bought the gown for the young woman was none other than the wife of Asmodi, the demon, the king of the demons. So he knew that she was in grave danger, because it was that this woman wanted the young woman to marry her own son, the son that she had between herself and the king of the demons. So Rabbi Naphtali, the very next day, called the bridegroom to be to him, and he said to him, will you lay your soul in danger on the line to save your bride-to-be? And of course, the young bridegroom-to-be said, yes, I will do whatever there is to be done to save my bride. So with that, Rabbi Naphtali took the young bridegroom-to-be in his carriage and took him out to a great field, and placing the young man in the middle of the field, taking his staff, Rabbi Naphtali drew a circle around the young bridegroom, and he said to him, I'm going to leave you now, but there will come to you a number of demons, and they will decry you, they will abuse you, but take no notice of them. When they leave, a carriage will arrive, driven by a man with one eye, and seated beside him will be the king of the demons, Asmodi himself. And you must meet his eyes unflinchingly. No matter what happens, you must not take your eyes away from the eyes of the demon. So, making this undertaking, the young bridegroom was left. And indeed it happened, as was said by the rabbi. A troop of demons came along, abusing, spitting venom at the young bridegroom, not entering the circle, but from outside it, sending all the vitriol that they could muster. But obeying what the rabbi had said, he did not respond or react to any of this. And when they left, sure enough, a carriage came by, and there was the man with one eye, and beside him, sitting resplendent, obviously a magnificent, imposing figure, the king of the demons himself, Asmodi. So as he was directed, the young bridegroom met the eyes of Asmodi, and as they locked glances, the young bridegroom said to Asmodi, "She is my bride, she does not belong to you." And Asmodi replied, "But her mother gave her to me." And the bridegroom said, "It is invalid because I was betrothed to her before. She belongs to me as my bride." But just then, the young bridegroom heard the cries of his bride, piercing into him in despair and fear. In fact, she had been buried up to her neck in sand outside the circle. But as he was directed, he maintained his eye-to-eye contact with the great demon. And it so happened that just then Rabbi Naphtali and a group of Hasidim came, and in that instant, Asmodi, in his carriage with his one-eyed driver, disappeared. Rabbi Naphtali and his Hasidim went to the young woman and extracted her from that place that she'd been buried. She was still wearing the gown, the wedding gown, which was now ragged, covered in worms and maggots. Quickly they took the young woman aside, stripped her of the soiled gown, and so it was that she was able to return, don the wedding gown that had been worn by her mother, and the wedding took place with great celebration. Diving deep into our mandala, deep into that place where all the aspects of our psyche and the symbols, archetypes, sacred numbers of all the ages dwell. What for us is our deep awareness and understanding of this, but not only this, because when we can dive into this place where we can find the meanings of the stories that are told, we can find that place, know it well, claim it, where we can understand all stories, everyone's story. But now, is the deep meaning of the story for us? What are its representations? The male-female aspect, the bridegroom and the bride, the mother, the wife of Asmodi. Asmodi himself, Rabbi Naftali, the star, the circle, the need, as in the story, to meet eye to eye, unflinchingly, unwaveringly. What's its deep meaning?